Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Straight Reads. If you're new here, my name is Abhishek.
And my name is Hiteshwar.
And here essentially we discuss the books that we are reading currently or some books that we have read in the past. And with that we also add some random stuff that's just going on in our lives. So Hiteshwar, what do we have on our plate today?
Oh, today is our special episode and we will discuss a fiction book today. A long time coming, right? Like last time only we were discussing the fiction versus non-fiction debate in our Straight Masala category, and today we have a fiction. Yay!
Yeah, I remember, right? Last time we discussed that topic on fiction versus non-fiction.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So what's the book that we'll be discussing today?
Oh, we will discuss one of the legends, one of the best-selling author and one of the best-selling books. Like, I think it created a worldwide appeal to the fiction. I mean, it was a famous category since Lord of the Rings, and then it's the second homecoming of the world of for the world of fiction. And today we are talking about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stones.
Yeah.
The first one, or you can, as per your country, you can call it the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone. We will call it Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, that works. So even for me, it was like my entry into the world of reading and reading fiction. I watched the movie first, to be honest. I think I was in 6th, 7th, maybe 8th grade, somewhere around that, and I watched the first movie. Maybe actually first two movies. And
Okay.
then it kind of ignited that motivation in me that I should actually go and read the books. And then I started reading the books. I think I read the first 3 or 4 books, but completely enjoyed them. How many have you read? I bet you have read all of them.
Yeah, I've read all of them.
You have read all of them.
I guess I started around 6th standard. I mean, the first one. And by the starting of the 7th standard, I was finished with all of them. Like, just about that time, the Deathly Hallows were released, and there was a talk in the town that a new book, a new Harry Potter, the last one of them have come now. And it just piqued my interest. I pick one of those in our library the next day, and voila, my life has changed.
So for me, like I said, I watched the movies first. But I read the books. I actually read ebooks. I've never owned any Harry Potter books, and that is something I really want to change in future. Like that should change. I know you're going to pull out your hard copy now. I know that.
I really enjoyed the illustrated versions. I mean, Jim K versions are so beautiful, so well illustrated. I mean, this book deserved Jim K illustration, but man, I never knew there is an illustrator existing out there in the world who could draw like Jim K could. Big recommendation, buy the versions with the Jim K illustration.
Yeah. Also, have you used that Pottermore website? Just one thing I need to slide in. Have you tried that website?
Yeah.
Tried finding your Patronus? What was it?
It came out to be Stag.
It did. For me, it was a squirrel, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I have one more question. Which Hogwarts house did you get there?
Oh, I got this thing, Gryffindor.
Yeah, same. Well, we are good friends.
Go Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Cool. So, what's the first topic that we're going to talk about from the book?
Oh, this is a great book, and I would like to really appreciate J.K. Rowling first. I mean, it took a great zeal to come up with something like this. I mean, this book is special. Out of all of them, this is the one book that really deserves the appreciation in the sense that it is not very plot heavy, right? I mean, J.K. Rowling took her time to practically world building stuff in this book. I mean, just look at that. Okay? The book is all about the magic and all about the world of fiction. But the first reference to really the world of magic was mentioned on the page 70 when they talk about the Diagon Alley, and the real world of Hogwarts that we hear about a lot come up around the page 100. Like this is a different level of world building. She really went into the day-to-day life of Harry before he came to know that he is the famous Harry Potter. I mean, he was really bullied by his cousin Dudley, and and she talks in so well about all of that stuff, like living in a closet, how
Yeah.
he didn't have any friends. I mean, she covered so many dark themes, yet they were covered in a way that make us relate to it.
Yeah. It was
You know
so
what?
involving.
Yeah, it is so involving. I mean, she
Yeah.
builds an atmosphere. Like, this is a fiction, this is about magic. She made it so magical.
Yeah, I completely agree. The world building or the scene building,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
character building as well. Like
Hmm.
it generally revolves around Harry, but
Hmm.
all other characters get their own space and timelines, and their
Yeah.
stories are amazing too.
I mean, one more thing. Um, Even after the page 100, it's not like you really went gung ho with everything. I mean, in Hogwarts, most of the time is just spending into day-to-day activities of a child. I mean, they all go to their classes, they attend those classes, they have teachers that they hate, they have teachers they love. It's all about making friends, making deep friendships, and in between we get a small plots like Hagrid got a dragon, and they have to
Oh, yeah,
ask
I remember that one.
Ron's brother to just escort their dragon, all that stuff. But it's all the checkpoints, and somehow it is so magical, and somehow they are all so related, so well related, that
Yeah.
it becomes one of the best books that I've read.
It was a long time in the making, na. I remember hearing that J.K. Rowling worked on it for a really long time before she
Yeah,
released the first
she really
part.
put a soul of her in this book, and uh, you can feel it when you read it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree on that one. No doubts at all.
So let's talk about the themes and the lesson that we get out of this book.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
first one
good.
that I would like to talk about is the choice. I
Okay.
mean, this is one of the most important themes that Rowling has discussed in this book, the
Yeah.
concept of choice, or we can say the free will. I mean, from the start of the book, um, Rowling really describes uncanny similarities between Voldemort, and Voldemort is our antagonist for the readers that have not read the book, and Harry Potter, and how they are kind of related, kind of the same kind of behavior that they have. I mean, they have the connection of snakes, that both of them could talk to snakes, number one,
Yeah.
and they have the same wands, and I mean the same wands that they do magic with, in the sense that they are made up of the twin wands.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
some
yeah.
of some
I
aspect
agree.
of their appearance, they also kind of look like each other.
I remember that, and I guess she was just trying to build this plot, right? That
Yeah.
there is a very thin line between good and bad, or light and dark.
Yeah, I mean, as per history, he could have followed the path of Voldemort, but he
Yeah.
didn't. He made a choice. Like, in our life, we all have come up against some issues, and we think like destiny will move us to a certain end. But
Yeah,
it is not
yeah.
true. Nothing is cut in stone when it comes to individual future. Just
Yeah.
like Harry demonstrates throughout the movie that we all get to change the direction of life as per our choices.
Yeah, and the sorting hat thing, right? The
Yeah.
hat actually wanted him to go to Slytherin, but he was just like asking, like, please, Gryffindor, please.
Oh, I
No,
would like to
I
read
think-
this part. This is a really good part.
Yeah, sorry if I'm wrong here. He did not say please Gryffindor. He just said not Slytherin. Not
Yeah.
Slytherin. Yeah.
So let me read this part. This is
Go ahead.
this is Sorting Hat trying to find out in which house he will be sorted,
Yeah.
and it is quoted as difficult, very difficult. Plenty of courage, I see. Not a bad way either.
Yeah.
There is a talent. Oh my goodness, yes, a nice thirst to prove yourself. Now that's interesting. So where shall I put you? Harry gripped the edge of the stool and thought, not Slytherin, not Slytherin, not Slytherin,
Yeah.
eh? Said the small voice. Are you sure? You could be great, you know. It's all here in your head, and Slytherin will help you on the way to greatness, no doubt about that. Well, if you are sure, better be Gryffindor. So it's kind of he has that in him. Like he made his own choices.
Yeah, yeah,
As
that's true.
later he had a discussion with Dumbledore regarding all this as well, and Dumbledore truly pointed out, like, it is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. Yeah, that
Definitely,
is
yeah.
one of the topics that that as an adult us will also relate to. What do you think?
I so agree to it. Also, with that, the lines that you just read, you have
Hmm.
opened like this chest of drawers in my mind. All those memories, nostalgia kicked in.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I watched the movies or read the books.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I definitely agree. If you are stuck in a situation in life and you think that now there's no way out, your choices are definitely very powerful, and they
Mhm.
can drive you home or take you down a cliff.
The choices and the free will.
Yeah, definitely.
So the next thing I would like to discuss, the theme I could say, is about
Hmm.
the friendship. And holy cow, holy
Yeah.
moly, the kind of friendship that they have shown through this book. I mean, it should be a case study. It should be taught to every kid out there, and it's great.
Yeah, and
I
each one
mean,
signifies something different. Each one of them.
yeah, yeah. Just look at the all the friendship and everything that has gone through
Huh.
this in this book. Like, Harry couldn't have done everything by himself. Like, 11 years really, he was alone, but then he got some really good friends, right? Harmon He needed different kind of person, different friends of his to achieve everything. I mean, they were 11-year-olds, right? And the kind of message that they have conveyed ki, if you are going out during the night time, you can't go alone, you gotta have me by
Mm-hmm.
your side. Like,
Mm-hmm.
these friends, they're so mature. Like, oh my god, they care for each other, they are mature.
Especially Hermione, I have to mention that. She was way too mature for her age.
Yeah,
Uh,
but in a sense, they have really represented friendship very well. I mean, for the two-third of the story, like, let's just discuss about Hermione. She was
yeah, let's do it.
know-it-all, she was annoying, and she didn't really have any friends for the two-third of the book. But then, when she finally uh, became friends with Ron and Harry, ah, man, they
Yeah.
did really show how friendships are done.
Yeah. Also, in the movie, like Emma Watson is acting, right? So she's like the beauty with brains. But in the
She
books, it's
is.
not so, right? She's actually like not the prettiest girl in the room, from what I
Yeah, she
remember.
is a snowy girl.
Yeah, yeah. That's why like she's know-it-all, annoying, like you said, and also not the prettiest girl. So it was not exactly the same as the movie in the book. So Hermione is not like the most favorable character, but the way the storyline builds and the friendships come on, that was really good.
Yeah, just look at the last part of the book. Harry was trying to catch up to Quirrell and or the Snape that he thought was there,
Haha.
and he couldn't do it alone. I mean, he needed Ron to sacrifice himself for the chess. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Ron
I
sacrificed
remember that.
himself for the
I
chess.
remember that.
Um, Hermione held him with the devil's snare and the plant that just hold on to them, and also the
Yeah.
keys that was up there. I mean, her intelligence was there. That's why they were able to survive.
And the
And
dog, do you remember the dog? I think Hermione
yeah,
saved
the
him there
three-headed
as
dog.
well. Yeah, yeah. What was the name of the dog? I forgot. Do you remember the name? Fluffy? Fluffy? Fluffy,
Fluffy,
right?
yeah, Fluffy.
Yes, Fluffy. That was so cool. Like the way they helped each other in that journey,
Hmm.
and eventually, although Harry was the only one who reached there in the end, but the way they sacrificed each other,
Yeah, it was the
especially
combined
Ron.
effort.
Yeah, right. So it just goes to show that if you're together, you will go far.
You remember the Quidditch part? The host Lee Jordan, he was always pointing out. Matlab, he was the host, and his role was to really tell all the people what is going on in the match. But he be like the fanboy, always supporting his friends, like, go, come on, hey, you are cheating. Remember all that stuff. That also contributes to a good friendship and a good spirit of having the back of your friends.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
And another thing that I would like to discuss, apart from this all that stuff, what's about
Huh.
Hogwarts? I mean, it is considered to be the safest place out there, but is it? I mean, how stupid are the rules at Hogwarts? It is supposed to be the safest place, but whenever you commit something bad, like in the middle of in the middle of the story, Harry and the friends were caught outside their dorms at the late night,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
do you remember the punishment they got? They have
Which
to
punishment? I don't remember.
as a punishment of roaming around in the dormitories, they have to go to the forbidden forest at night and
Yeah,
help
yeah,
the
yeah.
gatekeeper with, like, what
I
is
remember
going
they
on?
went with Hagrid. I
Yeah,
remember that. And they went spiders there? Something like that?
yeah, they met the spiders as well. And no, it's not
The
the spider
unicorn.
part, the spider part, yeah, the unicorn part.
The
Yeah,
unicorn.
they were really investigating an issue where someone was eating unicorns, and in the world of
Hmm.
Harry Potter, unicorns are considered sacred.
Hmm, 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 hmm.
Like, if someone is eating them, then there is nothing more devilish than them, and you are sending
Yeah, yeah,
11-year-olds to investigate that issue as a punishment. Like, what's going on, dude? How is
yeah.
this the safest place? Why are
See,
parents
this thing,
sending their
and
children here?
there was like this serial killer tree right outside Hogwarts.
Yeah, that
You
we will
remember
discuss in
that
the
one?
third book. It's not in the first. I think it's in the second book, not in the first
Okay,
one.
okay, it's in the first one. See, I was scared just when I saw that the stairs keep changing their positions all the time.
Oh,
I got scared there. Like my bars are set low, but yeah, I Hogwarts it's not for people with say how do you say it for light-hearted
light-hearted?
people.
Yeah.
Light-hearted people. Hogwarts is not for them.
So, someone with heart conditions, don't go there. Man, you will die.
Yeah, like that thing, right? They were just eating their dinner, and out of a plate, a ghost will come in. You
Not
remember
even
that?
that. Like, you have the safest place in the world, and a troll is hovering around in
Ha
washrooms.
ha
Like,
ha ha ha. Ha.
dude,
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
going on?
yeah, and that's where they became friends with Hermione, Harry and
Hmm.
Ron.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember. Yeah, the storyline is amazing in the first book.
But yeah,
If I really have to say that, which is my first book, I would say the fourth part. But
mm-hmm.
the first one is the real one, which brings the most nostalgia. I think because it started it all. Probably.
Yes, and it is so full of love, friendship, and everything that,
Struggle.
yeah, and the struggle.
Yeah.
It really touched all those topics. And as a kid book, as a children's book, as a children fantasy book, it is
Yeah.
so perfect.
And bravery, right?
Yeah, bravery.
You remember that scene where Malfoy took Neville's ball? He had like a
Mhm.
crystal ball thingy,
Hmm.
and Harry decided to help him get the ball
Yeah.
back. Yeah, that was such a brave move. One, because you are trying to fly with no.
For the first time.
For the first time, and then you are doing it against the orders of the professor.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, it was a big deal for Harry Potter at that time. Like,
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
first time in life, he is getting friends. He is really enjoying his life. I mean, he lived most of his life under a closet
Mm-hmm.
without any friends, and man,
Yeah.
that is a great example of bravery. Like, he was ready to get abandoned from the school, like rusticated from the school, just
Which
to
part?
save his friends.
Which part? Which part?
This part that you are talking about, the Draco part. Like,
Oh,
they
okay,
were
okay.
told that if someone is found doing all that, they will be sent home.
Yeah. Now I remember it. Yes. You're like unlocking memories one by one.
This is such a good book.
Right.
I recommend
right.
everyone to read it.
Definitely. I read it a long time back, but yeah, definitely recommended. What's the next one? Are we getting to the quotes now?
Oh yeah, we are getting to the quotes.
Let's do it. I'm excited about those.
Oh, we won't cover a lot of them. So, one of the hidden things that I found in the book was regarding that unicorn stuff. Like,
Huh.
in a way, in a very subtle way, Rowling told all our readers, all the readers of this book, that killing someone that is so pure
Hmm.
is the most evil thing. Like, just listen to me.
Hmm.
Um, here, there is a character named Ferenzi
Hmm.
who is talking with Harry Potter, and they're discussing about the death of unicorn.
Huh.
It is a monstrous thing to slay a unicorn, said Ferenzi.
Hmm.
Only one who has nothing to lose and everything to gain would commit such a crime. The blood of a unicorn will keep you alive even if you are an inch from death, but at a terrible price. You have slain something pure and defenseless to save yourself, and you have but a half life, a cursed life, from the moment the blood touches your lips.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you get me? It is something so hidden, so deep. In a child conscience, it represents a message like
Mhm.
care for something so pure. Like they are not for the killing. I really like the
Yes, yes.
message that she has conveyed through this.
Yeah. And exactly, okay, fill me in. Who
Hmm.
was actually killing those unicorns? It was for Voldemort, right?
It was
To keep
actually
him.
Voldemort himself killing the unicorns just to
I-
stay alive, just to
yeah, right?
stay in that form.
Mm-hmm. Like he wasn't really alive, but he was just staying as a,
Uh,
what do I say? He was living on
You can
other
say
hosts.
he was his soul was divided into different parts, and because of that, he cannot die. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
Spoiler
But
alert, sure.
yeah, we have to put it at the front.
Huh. See, there's a huge probability that anyone listening to this has, if not read, at least watched Harry Potter. And
Oh yeah,
if you have not, like, what rock have you been living under?
yeah. Just we should not say it. We really have, we rarely have anyone watching those videos. But don't watch this. Just read the books.
Yeah.
So Dumbledore raised his hand. The room gradually fell silent. There are all kind of courage, said Dumbledore, smiling. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. I therefore award 10 points to Mr. Neville Longbottom. Someone standing outside the great hall might well have thought some sort of explosion had taken place, so loud was the noise that erupted from the Gryffindor table. Harry, Ron, and Hermione stood up to yell and cheer as Neville, white with shock, disappeared under a pile of people hugging him.
Yeah. I remember this one now. And it was such a joy that Slytherin actually had more points, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
But then,
and these 10 points make Gryffindor the topmost house and win the
yeah,
award.
Gryffindor got
And
a bunch of brownie points at that time.
and it made me jump like wild when I read all this
Yes.
again.
Huh. I
Like this is
remember that.
so good. Yeah, yes, like it's the win that we all wanted.
I was like, yes, you, Mr. Dumbledore, you're a smart man.
Yeah, and it's a savage one at that. I mean, he decorated the grand hall with the Slytherin colors, uh, sending a message that they have won the house. But then, but then suddenly he awarded 160 points to Gryffindor and announced them as the winners. Like, I'm not saying he's biased, but he's kind of biased.
Yeah, definitely.
This book is so good, so nostalgic. I'm getting nostalgic just discussing about this
Do
one.
you also think that he knew all along that Harry's going to come, he's going to get into Gryffindor? Like he plotted some of that as well. What do you think?
Nah,
No?
I doubt it. We already discussed about the choices and the free will. It is up to him to decide, Harry Potter, to decide his career, his way, his life.
Hmm.
At least in the first some books, I'm not talking about in general. I know what happened in the last books.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, that's a good opinion.
So let's summarize this one.
Okay. I mean, we did not exactly do like a book summary here. It
Yeah.
was more like how the fictional characters have affected our real lives as we were kids.
It made it man. It is so much fun to talk about Harry Potter.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so nostalgic. I really like
Yeah,
this
but
kind of discussion about Harry
yeah,
Potter.
let's still do a summary of the topics that we talked about.
The first point is about the world building.
Yeah.
I mean, we all talk about this, no? That you require a strong foundation to really lay out work for anything, like a great building, a good building, a strengthened building. This
She
is
knocked it straight out of the park with this one.
Yeah, she knocked it out straight out of the park. I mean, she took her time. She took it really slow, and the way the foundation was set, it was all ready to explode in this all the other books, the next books that were
man,
coming.
like, I can't imagine a world where J.K. Rowling did not publish that first Harry Potter book.
Yeah, that would have been one depressing word
Seriously.
especially for someone, some nerds like us.
Yeah, and I'm not even like a huge Potterhead, but still, it's like knitted in the fabric of our childhood.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of motivated me to or read all kind of books. It is one of my first books that I've ever read, and
Yeah, same.
what a culture that she has created. She's
Right.
hats off.
Next, we discussed about the choices related stuff.
Yes, it is our choices that show that who we really are, no far more than our abilities. That is what the core message is.
Identities, I would say.
You can say, but is yeah,
Sure.
and friendship.
Yeah.
As we grow up,
friendship.
as we grow up, we somewhere lost the innocence of a child. And the way that I have read this book, I mean, it just reminded me of how good friendships could be and how good it is to have friends.
Yeah, right.
And in these tough times, it really hits out of the park. Like, yeah, having friend is good.
I agree. And it wasn't like this, like, I don't know. As I remember correctly, after the first part, I kinda low-key wanted Harry and Hermione to be together at some point.
Oh yeah.
But then J.K. Rowling panned it out in such a nice way in the future episodes of this. Maybe we'll talk more about it. When
Spoiler,
we do other parts.
spoiler.
Yeah. I don't care at this point. Please
And
watch this.
it's not all. It is not perfect in any way. There are some loopholes, but it is a fiction, and we should always give some passes to the fiction books about their logic and everything.
Yeah.
In a sense, it is a perfect book. It is a perfect for a kid who could grasp most of the things, but not everything, and they will absolutely love it. They will absolutely adore it, and it should be done that way. And it is a high recommendation from our side.
For sure. Randomly, I just recalled this train scene where Harry goes to the station for the first time, and Hagrid asks him just to run through the wall, and he's like, "What?" Remember that one?
Yeah, Hagrid was not there.
Who was that guy who asked Harry to cross the? Oh no! It was
No,
Weasley's.
It was Weasley's. It was Molly Weasley, the mother of Ron,
Yeah.
who asked them, both of them, Ron and Harry, to just go through the wall.
Harry
He was so
just
nervous.
there.
Oh my god, what will happen? Oh my god, I'm just gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah. Okay. No, yeah, it was a very cool scene. I remember
Yeah.
that.
What else? Let's just have one more section about it. What other things that that really brings the nostalgia in you? You remember the part, the starting parts, like how Dudley was such a bully. I mean, we all have faced that in our lives, and he was such a bully that he won't allow anyone to be friends with Harry Potter, and we all have faced that in our lives. Like, there is a bully who don't want anyone to be a friend to a guy who is being bullied, and just to stay away from that bully, just to not feel the wrath of that bully, most of the other people are not being friend with you. And my God, she's represented that very well.
Yeah, and then I remember this one as well. This one is actually from the movie.
Uh-huh.
The way they introduce Hogwarts, and when the kids are they come from the train station, and they're in these boats sort of things, and they're like going towards Hogwarts, and like the castle shows up, and there are lights all around, and then there is this music in the background. It all just goes together so well. That scene, really well put together. I think that's probably one of my favorite scenes from the first movie, where they
Are
enter
you talking
Hogwarts for
about
the
this
first
one?
time. Yeah, I think it was this one. This is the theme song, right?
Oh yes, it hit home the message of the
Do you want
fantasy
to
and
show the
everything.
viewers your fancy, what is it called, like a musical box?
Oh yeah, I really love this. I mean, it was gifted by one of my friends, and must buy for anyone who is a fan of Harry Potter. I really
Yeah.
like listening to it every now and then. It brings a different kind of happiness in me.
Yeah, I get that. Cool one. That was a nice little fun trip down the memory lane.
Oh yeah.
So, let's move to Straight Masala. What do you say?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Oh.
Okay.
So what are the topics for today?
I think we should have like a separate jingle for this one. Like we play a tone when this one starts, and then we say
Dun-dun-dun.
Straight Masala. Okay. So this time we have a very special topic. Not a very special topic,
Mm-hmm.
but a very specific topic. There is this fruit related company who did their annual developer conference a few days back,
Mm-hmm.
and of course we are talking about Apple. So
Oh yeah, WWDC.
yes, so what I'll do is I'll mention one by one some of the main highlights which were there in the event,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to know your opinion, and of course then I'll tell you what is my opinion on it,
Sure.
right? And you saw the event, right?
Yeah, I do. The first day, yes, but the other days I was just watching the recap.
Yeah, that's okay. It's the first one. Uh, if I ask you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 for excitement, what would you rate it?
9 out of 10.
What?
I was really excited. I was waiting for a slew of new devices to come.
Yeah,
But man,
No, not before the event. After the
Mhm.
event.
after the event, meh.
Yeah,
I would rate it
I'm talking about after the
4.5.
event.
4.5.
How
I
excited
guess.
were you about the features after the event ended?
I would still give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I would stick to
Out of 10.
like, yeah, out of 10, I would stick to 4 or 5. It was underwhelming to some extent.
Oh yes.
But okay, let's talk about things one by one. The first one was FaceTime, and the special thing is that FaceTime is more like Google Meet calls now. You can create a link and people can join it from anywhere, even Android phones and like Windows.
Mhm.
What do you think about that one?
Oh, I'm really excited. I mean, we got another competition to the world of
Yeah.
Zooms and Microsoft Teams. But I think it is kind of late. They should have released this feature last year. What are they waiting
Yeah,
for? The COVID train was here, and we were all waiting for something good to come to our lives. I
Honestly,
think they are late to the party.
I don't remember talking to anyone who wanted this. To be honest.
I really wanted the iMessaging feature.
Yes,
but
yes.
Yeah,
iMessage on Android or say the web, definitely. But I don't remember anyone wanting FaceTime. And the weirdest thing was this: when they were showing it on the stage, the Android device, the picture that they put up on, it was like the shittiest Android device possible from 2000.
I've seen in a while. This is the
8 or
shittiest device
something.
that I've seen in a while. Like, they must have searched some pictures to find that one.
Uh-huh.
Like, it is not possible to come up in the direct search. It's a phone like that.
Yeah, it was like such a bad looking device. But okay, cool. Next thing.
They gotta sell iPhones and make people of the Apple bubble to live in that bubble. If you show a better device, why people would just start noticing and
Yeah, I'm
dude,
sure.
what is that device?
If you put like
You don't want that.
a Samsung Note 20 right besides it, like the Note 20 was, in my opinion, one of the best looking Androids
Oh
of
yeah,
all time.
no doubt about that.
Even the S21 doesn't beat it for me.
True.
But yeah, they won't do that.
I would say Note 20 Ultra, not Note 20.
Yeah, of course the Ultra. Cool. Second one, and this is like a feature that I actually like. It is on-device Siri processing. What do you think about this one?
Oh, I really liked
And
it.
with this, we can also cover the privacy aspect of things.
I really liked it. I mean, you will always be concerned regarding that whatever you are speaking, the Siri is speaking or the Google,
Now,
the Google is
Assistant.
Google Now and Siri and app. What else is
Alexa?
there? Samsung Bixby. I don't even remember the names.
who uses
That they
Bixby?
all are picking up our voices and sending it to some outside cloud storage and using it to really mine our identity.
The
I'm
data.
I'm always that kind of guy who's freaked out by all that stuff, and I would more than more than would have liked this feature to be introduced a lot before, but I'm really happy Apple did this. It will be
Yeah.
followed by others, and it is a good way. I mean,
Yeah.
this is
So,
good.
A few years back,
Thumbs
they
up.
introduced this thing that the actual Siri voice was processed
Hmm.
on the device. Like it would just get the data from the internet, and it would be converted to spoken voice on device. That was a few years back.
But it was bad. Back then, it was bad. Now
Yeah.
it is up to the par that
Now
it
the
could
whole
really.
processing is on device. And you know the funny thing that they did on stage?
Uh-huh.
That guy asked, "Hey Siri, turn on airplane mode," just to show it off. That
Mhm.
Siri can work offline now as well because it's on device.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Right, so yeah, that is really cool, and that ties into the whole privacy aspect of Apple, which they appear to be very serious about apparently these years.
Oh yeah, I'm buying into them. I'm
Yeah.
really impressed by the way Apple has uh, positioned themselves as the leader of the privacy ladder that we have right now.
Pretty sure the leader. No one is
Yeah.
really topping them at this point. There was BlackBerry at some point, like long back.
But somehow they missed their mark in the sense that they were not that feature
Yeah,
rich. They
but
were just focused on privacy.
Do you
Now
think
Apple is doing the
Apple-
other way around.
Hmm.
They have somehow figured it out how to make good phones, and now they are figuring it out how to make them very good privacy-based phones.
That's true. Okay, now let's talk about the most underwhelming thing, and this had huge expectations based on what I know. It is our dearest iPad OS.
Don't you talk about that. I was just dreaming every day.
Right.
Apple, please provide Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro for iPad,
Yeah.
and they didn't.
I remember talking to you that you will, in a heartbeat, buy an iPad Pro if
Of
it gets
course
the
I
Pro
will,
apps.
if they could provide that.
Yeah, that is true.
They broke my heart.
But they didn't. They just gave you widgets. You can put widgets now. Right?
Like I wanted to.
That's so pro, putting widgets on your home screen.
But it was
Seriously,
kind
man.
of expected from Apple to do that. I mean, they won't want to push their products, right?
Yeah.
They would want to have something differentiated, one killer feature in every one of their devices that really drives the sale. Like
Yeah.
for Mac Pro, or you can say MacBook Pro,
Mhm.
Air and everything, all those kind of products, they have Final Cut Pro and all
Yeah.
Logic Pro. For iPad, they have something. They have the full screen real estate to touch and do stuff, and there is Procreate. And in
Yeah.
general, for general work, they have iPhone. I
Now
mean,
they've
they have differentiated
improved
all
the-
this and kind of forcing you to buy all of those stuff.
Yeah, not trying to make these compete with each other.
Not
They're
at
just
all.
trying to make the whole thing a really compelling package,
Yeah.
right? And with the universal, we'll talk about it in the Mac OS section, okay? So the other thing on iPad was just multitasking, which is good. Like, I appreciate it, but I mean, still underwhelming.
I would say it's more of like incremental upgrade. I was waiting for something
Especially
like
with the
really, like
M1
really
thing,
some.
right?
Yeah. They told us last year that it is a 2 year shift and they will introduce some cool things.
Mm-hmm.
And by cool things, I thought maybe at last maybe Final Cut Pro iPad, but
Yeah.
nah.
But then, yeah, at this point, if you want an iPad with Final Cut Pro, just get the MacBook Air. That's the most sane suggestion right now.
But someone who would want a touch screen, I doubt they will be happy with MacBook
Hey,
Pro.
not want. If you need it, the MacBook Air is the best option right now.
Yeah, it is kind of, but then the
Want
screen.
though, I don't know. Like, there are so many things I want. I want an iPhone which I can unfold. It becomes an iPad, and then when I dock it to a display, it becomes a Mac. If we are talking about wants,
Then they will charge you some $3,000 for that.
that's all right.
No brainer.
That's all right. The iPhone is $1,000. The iPad is $600, and the Macs are anyway $1,000 plus. That's okay.
Anyways, I have a question.
Okay, shoot.
iPad Air 4 or iPad Pro 12.9 with XDR display.
Yeah, you have my answer. It's here. iPad Air 4.
Smart boy.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? I mean, it also depends on my usage. So I just want to watch stuff on the iPad, read, and maybe draw once in a while. My sister draws more than me on the iPad at this point, and for that, the Pro doesn't really suit my purpose. I mean, I don't need it. Of course, it has more power, it is more capable, all that stuff. But the Air is more than enough, to be honest, at this point. I have tried an iPad Pro, and the double cameras, I mean, seriously, like, who takes pictures with their... I don't think I've ever taken a single picture with this iPad.
I doubt you would take a picture with iPad. iPad is not for that.
Oh, seriously, I have never taken even a single picture with this iPad.
But for some people, it might serve a purpose. Like, they have AR functionalities, capabilities that have been added in that with their LiDAR sensor. And
yeah, the AR is fine, but there's like 1% of the developers working on iPad. Sure, right. And promotion is also nice, but paying extra just for promotion...
I would say I'm a sucker for displays. Like, good displays I really appreciate. Like, I have S20, the Samsung S20, the base model, and it has an HDR display. And I mean, if I ever watch an HDR stuff on this, I'm every time wowed by the display. And the same thing with iPad Pro, the 12.9 one. It has a proper HDR display. I mean, I doubt you will ever be able to get any HDR display of that size under $2,500. No, you won't get it.
Yeah. No, you can get the iPad Pro 12.9 for like 1,500 as well, right? The base variant.
Yeah. But other than that device...
Cool. Why would you need like a 16GB RAM iPad Pro now?
I wouldn't. I'm... I would say the 256 variant, the 256 gig variant is the best one to buy if you have to buy with 8GB RAM, because there is no purpose of extra RAM.
But I would
Apple,
still say
where is Final Cut Pro? I really wanted it.
99.9% of people out there, the iPad Air is like the default iPad.
I have one thing against iPad Air, as in because the 12.91 is M1 based, and seeing the history, seeing the kind of you can say software update that Apple provides, I think it will get software update for at least 7 to 8 years. Not the same with iPad Air.
Oh, I would disagree on that. Like, the iPhone 6s is getting a 7th year software update.
But I guess, nah, it's still M1. M1 series, the M series, they will
How
really
about I
get the
bet the
updates.
other way? Like the M1 is like the beta product which they are
Mhm.
just going to test out with, and the M2 or whatever is the future will be the real one, which will be stable and get real updates. M1 they'll just put it
They
like
could do
below the
that.
carpet and just hide it.
That
I
is
could
so
argue the other
Apple.
way.
That is though so Apple kind of way.
They've done it,
I
right?
won't even be surprised if they do that.
The first iPad, the first Apple Watch, the first things, they are not supported for really long. So you could argue the other way.
Hmm.
But yeah, like we'll see. But for now, I would stick to my opinion. The iPad Air is the default one.
I'm more of iPad Pro guy. I will explain one more thing.
Huh.
Like right now, there are not a lot of apps that could use the 8 gigs or the 16 gigs. But I think down the line, some programmers, some creators, like they have also introduced a programming language for it. No.
What? You can make Swift UI apps on iPad.
Yeah,
That's it.
I think a lot of developers will take benefit of all this RAM real estate.
It's still not Xcode. It's just.
You have Xcode Cloud, you can use that.
Can you?
I think you can.
I don't think so. I don't think you can. Might be wrong.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
I think it's just still Swift UI small apps which you can create on it. Not proper. Your Xcode projects won't work on the iPad.
About
Still.
the ProMotion display, I think it is a fancy thing, and what I found really good about it is that the latency of the pencil. I've used them both side by side.
Mhm.
As I think I can tell the difference. I mean,
Yeah.
the problem with the Note and the Galaxy Note,
Hmm.
all those series of Samsung phone was that the latency was high. The same is the case with the iPad Air 4. You can see that whenever you are drawing, the writing on the
Oh, ha, ha, ha,
slate,
ha.
it is a there
Yeah,
is
I
a
agree.
latency in that.
If you're a serious pro artist, iPad Pro is the way.
Yeah, iPad Pro is the way. I
For
mean,
sure.
it feels so real to type and on that stuff. Like really use the pencil. If
Oh,
if
yeah,
you are a heavy user of pencil, I would say iPad Pro is the way. But then if you have an iPad, you gotta have a pencil, and
Uh-huh.
that is how
Sure.
I am driving the point that you should go for the iPad Pro.
I don't know, man. I still don't agree. I happily disagree with that. It's just
Yeah,
overkill.
yeah.
Save your money, get the iPad Air, and get some accessories for it. Stuff like
Mhm.
that. The if yeah, that's what I would say.
If the money allows, I would still go for the iPad
Or if the money allows, I don't know what I'll do.
Pro. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
discuss the next topic. What is it?
Last is Mac OS.
Uh-huh.
I just have one thing to discuss. One is shortcuts, but
Mhm.
all right, shortcuts, cool. We discussed it. Leave it.
Shortcuts is basically Tasker Lite that we get to see in Android phones.
Yeah, call it that. Sure.
Tasker
Uh,
Pro, you could also say, because Tasker is not so good in UI and shortcut is.
Yeah. The main thing I want to discuss is the universal remote control which they introduced. And
Oh man,
that was the real feature that I enjoyed.
I'm
from
really
the event.
impressed. 10 on 10 impressed with
I am.
the kind of functionality that they have been
Uh-huh.
able to achieve through this
I'm
universal.
impressed as well. And the cool thing is the way they've done it. Like if you keep sliding your mouse towards the iPad,
Mhm.
on the iPad you see this membrane and a cursor inside it. And if you drag it even more, then the cursor comes inside the iPad.
Yeah.
These small little details that they've added.
There's such a
It's
good
really
UX design, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Also, in the future I would like to have this functionality supported for an external display as well. I mean, just make a standard so that different monitor companies, different big display companies, could also inculcate this feature in their devices. Don't you think so? Something like Apple Pro XDR display. You don't have to do anything. You're just hovering around in your iPad and then just go universal way, and it is there.
But you have
Something
to
like
connect
that.
the display to one device, right? The iPad
I
or the
mean,
Mac or
let's just
something.
have the Pro XDR with the Mac Pro.
Yeah. That you can do with universal control now. Oh, not the other way. You can come from the Mac to the iPad. You can't go from the iPad to the Mac.
Oh, bummer.
No, you can do that. I don't think you can do that. I might
Let's
be
see.
wrong, but I
I
don't
hope
think
you are wrong.
if you have an iPad and you have a mouse on it, or you have the magic keyboard for the iPad which has a trackpad, I don't think you can
Mhm.
go from the iPad to the Mac. It's just Mac to iPad.
But then, is it a? I'm taking back my words. 10 on 10. It is not a 10 on 10 if that feature is not provided.
Okay, might be wrong.
I
I
doubt
still
it.
like
I,
it.
I, I I really doubt this thing. I mean, we have to research a lot more. But I
Yeah.
think it should be there.
Yeah, let's see. I don't have the beta installed yet in a
Okay.
few months. Okay,
Oh yeah.
that's Mac OS pretty much. Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
was the event. So I'll list my top 3 items from the event, my favorite items. And then you give your top 3 favorite items from the
Okay.
event.
Okay. Hmm.
Right? So my top favorite thing from the item, no, the event, right? It was Craig Federighi's,
Jump.
the roles. Not just the jump, the roles. The jump, essentially, the way this WWDC event pans out, it is Craig's event, right? It's not Tim
Yeah.
Cook's event. So the way he did the transitions, like an iPad would follow from the ceiling and he would just catch it and show the features, and then he would jump into that privacy wala area.
True.
And then remember that home thing when he was going from home, he was showing the home wale
Oh
features,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and then he got into this car and was just like driving at full speed to the office. A really cool guy. That was
Such a good production value as well.
yeah, definitely. Like Craig Federighi's cool factor was the, like, I say, top thing which I liked from the event. Second was universal control on Mac, and
Mm-hmm.
third was the fact that iPhone 6s is getting iOS 15.
Okay. I
Those
have
are
kind
my
of the
top three.
same thing, but I will change the first one.
Huh.
So my favorite thing throughout the event was the way they have displayed the three things, the three pillar of the Apple world,
Huh.
the iPad, the MacBook Pro, and the iMac.
Huh.
All three in a whitish silver color. I mean, it is every nerd's wet dream to see all those three,
Oh
right?
yeah, I remember that.
That is my favorite thing throughout the event. Like, wow, like this is how you would like to see
They have
stuff.
this lab of computers, and it has a silver iMac, a silver MacBook, and a silver iPad with a white case.
Yes. And
Yeah, it looks
that
too
is my
cool.
favorite. The second one I would say was the support for 6S, even 6S. I was not expecting this.
I was
I
not
mean,
expecting
my
it.
OnePlus 2 is of the same year that the 6S was displayed, and let me tell you, it's useless right now. No one uses it, just packed somewhere,
For sure, it
and
is useless.
it doesn't get any update.
I
I
mean,
mean, it barely got the eighth
n-
version, the Oreo.
now I'm mad. My OnePlus 6 is from 2018, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not even getting Android 12.
Damn.
And Apple, on the other side, is just showing off at this point. And
And
I bet,
my third point would also be the universal control.
yeah,
It's really good.
it's just a shuffled list. But about the updates, I bet at one point they are going to hit a decade. Like one of their devices will get 10 years of software updates.
Yeah,
That's going to
and
happen at some point.
that really put up the point that
Hmm.
is Apple the real king of value proposition if you also consider the year of update that you get with their phones and their laptops
Okay,
and
okay.
everything.
I'll tell you my opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
So normally value devices are seen as this, that you pay a small amount to be able to use the device and use all its features, and essentially when that device is broken or non-usable conditions, you again pay a small amount to get another value device. But for Apple, the entry fee is high,
Oh,
right? So
true.
initially when you're trying to enter the ecosystem, it's high, but over the time, I think it definitely shows its value, because you can use an iPhone for like 5 to 6 years easily at this point. Not a problem at all. So buying two OnePlus phones, and OnePlus was known as the value proposition on Android, right? That's why I
Oh
mentioned the
yeah.
OnePlus. So two OnePlus versus one iPhone. I think one iPhone. If you really want the value, and you can pay the big amount up front.
I would differ on one point. I would beg to
Hmm.
differ on this. Like in the smartphone market, of course, the paying price is high, but in the
Yeah.
laptop market, the situation changes completely. Like with M1 chip, they have really blown away the market.
Oh yeah, even the prices, right?
Yeah, the price is right. It is perfect price to performance ratio. You won't get anything better than that on that
I don't
price.
think anything beats the MacBook Air at 90,000 in India.
Yeah, it's something
The
like
base
that.
MacBook Air. Yeah, and if you have a student discount, you can get it maybe for 80. So, yeah,
And
I
I
don't
really
think.
believe that in that segment they have just blown away everyone, and they are the value leaders, especially for the laptop market.
And in iPad, it's a monopoly at this point. Like, is there any other tablet in the market? There isn't.
Everything is useless. Maybe just maybe I have a hope that Samsung catches up with some good software, but I really doubt that. You
Are they
need
even trying?
something strong like Procreate to come up to the Android to really match up to the level of
Yeah.
monopoly that Samsung Apple has created.
I honestly do not have hope from them at this point.
But Samsung
And
makes gorgeous displays.
okay, then just a display is not enough to celebrate.
Kind of.
Right? Okay, you have this beautiful display, nothing works on it. Right, take this display, use it as a paperweight. Go ahead. Cool. So that's all the updates essentially from WWDC. As we said,
Dab.
little over, not sorry, underwhelming event. But yeah, that's it, right?
I won't say it was underwhelming. I mean, it was more of like we were expecting too much out of Apple, and Apple being Apple just gave us what they usually do.
Yeah, they gave everything 2 years after when people were expecting it. That's what they do.
Oh yeah.
Okay, nice. That's a good analogy. Cool. That's it, man. Right?
Sure.
Cool. So that officially ends the episode 4 of Straight Reads. And also another funny thing I noticed for this episode, you are as formal as you have been ever on this podcast, like wearing a shirt and all. And I am as casual as I've ever been on this podcast.
Damn.
Like
I
I'm
really
wearing
like to
this.
dress up. I mean, I was going for the casual vibe, but somewhere some of our viewers, or you can say some of my friends, told me that you look good in formal dressing. So here I am.
Oh, you do. I second that. Cool. I'm wearing this my weekend casual oversized tee, and I'm just chilling here. So it's like quite the polar opposites. And let us know what you think about the episode, and definitely let us know if you want us to cover more fiction. The last 3 episodes were non-fiction, but we definitely plan to do more fiction ones.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, tell in the comments which house do you belong to in the Hogans.
Oh yeah. Which house do you want to be in, and which house are you in according to Pottermore?
Yeah, we will link it down. How
Yeah,
to
we'll
do that.
we'll link the website down in the comment, in the description. Sorry. Nice one. And give us feedback on how to improve the fiction section. Actually, do you want us to tell the story a little more, or just focus on the main points that we want to drive from the stories, like we did today? And yeah, we'll be back next week with some non-fiction actually this time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks everyone for listening to us on Spotify if you're there, or watching us on YouTube. Just thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah.
We'll keep bringing you high quality content to watch or listen to. Thanks a lot. Bye. See ya.
Bye bye. Peace.